good evening, and welcome to the Armoury. We are here for the Arsenal Brighton Carabao Cup third round match preview. I've got GunnerKing and I've got another Bobby. I'm just going to be really confused when everyone says Bobby now. How are you, GunnerKing?
Yeah. Not exactly 100% due to illness, but excited of what I'm seeing with Arsenal. Great result against Chelsea, who I just love to hate for the post 2003 era that we just effectively ended. So yeah, man. I mean, my spirits are high. Even though my body and my energy is a bit low, but yeah, this team is it's lived up to another challenge. Like the first league team to win away from home against a Big Six club, actually. So obviously Liverpool followed suit against Spurs later on that day, and Man United lost as well. So everyone around us just doesn't seem interested in keeping up with us, which I don't mind.
How are you, Bobby?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. Happy to make my debut and join the Armoury TV. And yeah, man, excited to get going and talk about Arsenal. It's a good time to be a Gooner, isn't it? So
it's fantastic times.
Because it's been some dark times that we've been through together, man. So we deserve this, man. We deserve this, man. We come out the gulag.
We earned this, bro. You know what I mean? We was always gonna respawn, bro. That's what I kept telling these people, bro. And the man just thought it was a game, bro. But
we just had to keep faith. A lot of people couldn't keep faith, but our face didn't look the same for quite a while. But it's starting to get a familiar look and feel about it again now, isn't it? And yeah, man, it's been long overdue, and I'm quietly confident about our future now. So I'm excited to go, man. It's a good time to join the Armoury TV and to be talking about Arsenal and be very loud on the TL on Twitter.
Before we talk about the game, I just want to quickly talk about our sponsors. We are proudly sponsored by Global Mapping Surveys. Global Mapping Surveys currently assist architects, property developers and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning and monitoring. The link is in the description for the website and contact details. Thank you so much to Global Mapping Surveys. So obviously it's the Carabao Cup third round. Now, we'll take a different views of this. A lot of people want to go gung-ho and just get another trophy. Some people are like, let's just rest everybody. Let's just concentrate on the league and Europa. Now, I'm one of those, but I'm not one of those that I want to get knocked out. I'm one of those that I spoke to GunnerKing about this last week, about this is the time to give the kids a chance. They're doing well. They're in PL2, the top of the league there. They're all doing very well, play the same style as Arteta. So, GunnerKing, what's your view on this game tomorrow night? How would you look at it?
I've maintained that stance from the beginning of the season. Respectfully, we're not Tottenham Hotspur. We're not out here hand to mouth. Carabao Cups and FA Cups, with the greatest respect to them, it is great to add to our history. There are bigger things at stake here. Initially, when the season started, it was getting top four and competing in the Europa League. But as the season has progressed, we can see that, it would be foolish not to expect a little more, a title challenge, like maybe even number 14, maybe even. Obviously, there's a lot we need to do to make that possible. But I would much sooner see us put the eggs in those two baskets of winning that Europa League and winning the league than worrying about the Carabao and the FA Cup. Now, the Europa League is something we haven't won. The completed trophy cabinet is something that I feel extremely passionate about. So far, you've got United, Liverpool, and Chelsea that have won every available trophy in terms of both domestic and European ones. And for me, it's a big slap in the face that Chelsea did that first. But it's of my belief that if we do that now, any point of contention that these Fulham in disguise frauds have, to suggest that London is anything but red, disappears. Yeah, so I want us to get that Europa League. I want us to get the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, and the Champions League. That is, for me, that is an overarching aim of the next 4 or 5 years. And the way we're playing right now, I don't expect us to be in Europa League again next season. The gap is really widening between us and the other top 4 hopefuls and candidates. I mean, we're even 10 points ahead of Newcastle. We were in good form, but there's a buffer there, It's only really City that are 2 points near us. So I would really like, as you said, to see the youngsters get a chance in this game against Brighton and to just say, "C'est la vie, what may be, may be." I'm not going to get on Arteta's back about that because it makes logical sense to me. Do you see what I mean? Like, we don't have squad depth to the extent or the quality in our squad depth that City have. We simply cannot compete on 4 fronts. So we need to prioritize them. Yes, we've only got 2 Carabao Cups, but what is that to an Arsenal fan? We're the third biggest, the third most decorated club in England, the most decorated club in London. Our sight should be higher than the Carabao Cup. So the way I see it, it gives us a chance to see what the young players can do in the more important competitions as well. It rewards them for their excellent start to the season. It gives them a view that there is a pathway to the first team if they keep working hard. And all of this is good for the key fundamentals of the club, which, as we spoke about last week, for me, youth is very important, always has been, always will be. We could get taken over by 10 sheikhs tomorrow, backed by 500 countries, and outweigh the net worth of every club in the world combined. I would still want to see youngsters coming up from our academy. That's a big part of, for me, who we are. So, yeah, man, for me, all roads point to giving several of them a chance.
Yeah. What about you, Bobby?
I'm a little bit the opposite. I think that we should kind of go strong. I gave you my team, didn't I?
It's already in. Yeah, I'll show you.
There wasn't many changes from Chelsea. I think that I don't know. I'm all for giving kids a chance because I'm massive on youth football and all that. But when we look at the kids, we think about how many of them are actually going to realistically play for Arsenal first team. Look at how many have played in the last 20 years. Not many. So kids have to be very special to get into this Arsenal first team, like what we've seen with Saka and Martinelli, who are exceptional. So for me, I've got a slightly different view on the fact that I think that we're in a space where we've got to create a winning mentality within the group, and I don't think that we can afford to take any game lightly. I think we've got to go into every single competition to win them, like Man City have. Man City have got like 3 Carabao Cups out of the last 4 of those, something like that. I want to win everything. Like GunnerKing said, I want to win all the European competitions as well, but I want to win this one as well. I want us to be that dominant. I want us to get to the stage where eventually we can play our B team in the Carabao Cup and it is as good as the first team. But I think to do that, we need to have everybody on the same kind of wavelength and the same kind of mentality. We can't have some players thinking, all right, then I'm going to get up for the Carabao Cup because that's the only game that I'm going to play in. I want them getting up for every single game kind of thing. So for me, I want him to play his strongest formation and his strongest lineup for that, but also for the fact that we've only got 2 games before they all go away to the World Cup. So they're going to have a big rest. I think maybe if we had a heavy Premier League schedule coming up over the next 2 months, I'd probably feel a little bit different about that, because we have squeezed. Because normally we'd still have a couple of games left in the Europa League to play in late November. So the fact that we've crammed so many games in and we've still done so well says to me that these group of players can cope with the strenuous of playing a lot of games, because they've played every single Europa League game, only lost 1. They've played 13 Premier League games, only lost 1. So for me, the group, the characters that we've got together are the kind of characters. Not many of them have been getting injured as well. Also, there's only been kind of like 2 players getting injured, haven't they? Tomiyasu and our left backs. Even Partey's been really fit because he's been getting managed. Our Nani's come back now, so that's going to create good cover in that position. So for me now, I just want to win every game, and I want us to approach every game in the same way. I like the way that Arteta has been managing the squad because he has been rotating, but he's been rotating in the weaker games, and I don't think Brighton are going to be weak because they've been playing well this season. They've got a good way about them, haven't they? And
he's their stronger team, Brighton, because
so that's another reason why I'd go strong, purely because of that.
Mm.
Right, before we get into the squads that I've asked everyone to send in anyway, I want to get into the comments because comments are building up thick and fast. Good evening to Luke. Hope you're doing well. Good evening to Adam. He's obviously a United fan. You can tell that by the actual comments, but big up to Adam. He is our sponsor as well.
Good evening, Adam. Good evening. So glad you could join us, bro.
Tony, I'll never take a loss, but I have faith in the kids. So that's what I will say. I've got faith in the kids. G Talk says, big up the panel and Bobby's debut. No, I'd never take a loss. Exactly. Mark Luke, I'm with you on that one. What up, Bobby, the man, the GunnerKing, and Bobby Brown, legend of nutrition. Oh, dear. Sorry, Bobby. I'm going to guess you're going to get quite a few.
I'll be reading the comments, so I knew it was coming.
Yeah. No, I don't want to lose.
Our life, so I'm used to it.
No, I don't want us to lose, but I wouldn't be upset if we got knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, I know it sounds bad, but let's look objectively at last season. Yeah. Let's look at Spurs. Yeah, when they got dumped out of the Conference League, they climbed up the table. They overtook us.
You're not comparing us to Spurs, are you? Surely.
No, but what I'm saying is, if to say that there's not a correlation between those two things, you know what I mean? There's definitely a correlation. You know, like the fixture list isn't as congested. There isn't travel. You know, they don't have that extra additional training, you know, from competing in that other competition. And what that allowed them to do is focus all their eggs on one basket. Do you see what I mean? Like, you know, and I think the fact that we did so well last season, and people will say, oh, you bottled top four, but the fact that we did so well last season was heavily helped by the fact that we didn't have to compete in Europe. Do you know what I mean? I just think, for me, the prioritization of what we're trying to achieve here is... Pardon?
But we competed in Europe this year and we're top of the league. So I think that shows that we can compete in two fronts and we can still do well because we qualify from the group top of the league and we top of the league now comfortably.
I think the fundamental difference is we've done that so far. You know, like, and if you compare our squad to City's and the depth and the quality that they have, to if the betting man was betting on one of us to keep up the sort of pace that we've set, they're not betting on us, and I wouldn't begrudge them. You know, like, because
on us being top of the league at the beginning of the season, they wouldn't have bet on us either.
Well, so no, they wouldn't. But we have to. I think if you objectively look at the squad, and how both squads have been managed, City in their midfield, I've seen them use Gundogan, I've seen them use Foden, I've seen them take out one or both of those, put in Bernardo Silva, KDB. You know, obviously Rodri's been one of the constants. Their back line, they've used the Kanji across the line. You know what I mean? They've used different centre-back pairings. They've used Ake. They've used Diaz. They've used Stones. You know, Laporte's coming back. They're starting to use him. If you compare that by contrast, Arsenal have used their best 11. Yeah. And you will see, like, the cracks begin to show in the new year if that continues. It's not sustainable. Do you see what I mean? Like, for them to be able to rotate 2 or 3 players out, you know, like even Alvarez is starting to kick on now when he's not playing instead of Haaland. You know, like, okay, they looked a bit weaker against Leicester when they didn't use Haaland or Foden, but the fundamental is they still got the job done. They got the job done against Fulham when they were down to 10 men. Like, this is the juggernaut we're competing against. And I just feel to give ourselves the best available opportunity to continue to compete with them, we need to do one of two things. Either enlarging our squad, and I'm talking like 4, 5, 6 players, which we're not going to do. We know this, I think 2, 3 maximum is what we'd look at in January. And, well, we were expecting signings last January. We didn't get them. You know, or the other alternative is to rotate with what we have. at the moment, and I just don't feel that Arteta yet has the trust in, say, a Vieira to come in for a Saka. Do you know what I mean? Like, Smith Rowe's not been fit. He's not going to come back and straight away be deputising for Martinelli. He's going to need to play back into his fitness. You know, like El Neni and Partey. Yeah, it's great that El Neni's the backup, but the quality gap's massive when you swap those two. You know, like Odegaard or Vieira, because Vieira can also play as an 8. Vieira's not yet doing what Odegaard does off the ball in terms of like the pressing, you know, winning the ball in the attacking third, you know, bringing that physical element. And players like these will get burnt out, bro. Like, as long as City can rotate their best players,
Yeah,
and we're relying on our best 11,
I totally get your
I
point.
can only see it going one way, bro.
Yeah, I totally get your point, but I think we're setting the pace at the minute, not City. City are trying to keep up with us, and that's actually a fact because we've always been at the top, and we've always been at the top in our Champions, in our Europa League group, and we've been playing all the games, haven't we? So for me, the proof's in the pudding. I can only say on what we've actually done so far. The team looks totally different, and not only has it been going on since the season, it was happening in pre-season because it was fantastic pre-season, totally unbeaten. And what you've also got to look at is, yeah, we've got a great starting 11, but you also got to look at if you're going to talk about City's starting 11, they've got a lot of injury-prone players. We haven't. We've got players who are robust, and the certain players that we've got, those are the players, the characters that we're obviously trying to sign, you know. And you heard Mikel Arteta talk about it. He said that I expect top players to play 70 games a season. If you want to be winning the top competitions, if you want to be on the top table, you guys are going to have to play 70 games a season. So he's probably, I mean, we've watched all or nothing, so we see how intense he is. So he's probably telling them that. So I totally get your point, but I think
when we talk about setting pace at the moment,
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The proof will be in the pudding, won't it?
Because I mean, like,
he seems like he could play every game. Martinelli looks like he could play every game. There's probably it's probably like 2 or 3 players in that team who, like, you've got Tommy Yasu.
They can't. They're human, bro. They won't be able to deliver the same level of intensity and quality if they're playing every single game, bro. It's just not, especially at their age, bro. Do you know what I mean? Their bodies are not fully.
They're young. They're all young.
No, yeah, but
they're all old. That's why they're all getting injured. Carl Walker,
but I would say
injured. They're all getting injured, aren't they?
Listen, I would say there's a few things that I want to unpack here. Like, I would say, like, the peak age of like physical conditioning for a man is kind of your 26, 27 onwards. You know, like your body's still kind of developing at 20, 21, 22, 23, and also like you burn out quicker. You know, like, yeah, you've got the exuberance and you'll chase things down, but you almost aren't aware of the limitations of your body in doing that. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing as well, like what you said about City setting the pace, yeah.
34, but they're both the same age.
The other thing you said, yeah, about City setting the pace, we've seen them here before, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, loitering with intent behind the team they're chasing, January, February, March, they just do City things, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and part of how they got that experience of doing that enables them to do it again. But part of how they've got that capability is from that rotation of players. Like, they have rotated the best of their players in a way that no other Premier League team can for the last 5 or 6 years. And if you look at the appearance numbers, the evidence is there, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I totally get that point, but I'm just going off what we're seeing at the minute. And what we're seeing at the minute is a very good Arsenal team. And I don't actually think that at times we've played our best, you know. So we're actually, I think when we do click, I think we're going to be the team unstoppable. You know, I really do. It's just something that I feel. You know, I've been going and watching games, the feeling in the stadium, there's just something about this group now. It's just, and Mikel Arteta, he knows what, he's been part of Pep, hasn't he? So he knows what winning looks like. He knows what it's all about. He's created this off the back. He's transformed the team in 2 years. And now we've got a squad. I mean, we could all see signs last year and the year before anyway, when he won the FA Cup with a squad full of players that he's now got rid of. We know that we had a special manager. But the way that built the squad, and the characters that they've built in the squad, says to me that we're going to, and also the other thing what I really liked was the net spend that came out the other day. We're still like 11th in the spending. If he's only spent like 50 million per window, I think like Southampton or there was someone wild that spent more than us. Wolves had spent more than us, and Villa had spent more than us. So for me, we're on track, man, and I think Pep's going to be watching soon.
I don't doubt this, but I would ask you to look at two performances this season: the Southampton game and the PSV game.
Yeah.
And I would implore you to tell me that there wasn't signs of lethargy. And I'm not having to go at the players for this, by the way, because as I said, the human. This isn't me having to go at them, digging them out. It's like the reality is, no human being, right, can go beyond the levels of what their body is capable of. And I'm telling you, this squad has a first 11. Yeah, we are utilizing our first 11, and there is absolutely no way that we can only utilize the first 11 at maximum, get 2 or 3 players in January, maintain using that same first 11 while City are switching in and out 3 to 4 players a game, and keep up with them. That's just not going to happen. Like, it's not a realistic expectation. Do you know what I mean? And I want to do that above anything. Like, above anything this season, bro. Like, it's been since 2004, bro. You know what I mean?
Do you think we could
actually won the league, bro? You know what I mean? Like, it's, oh man, like, I think for me, I'm not saying we will win the league. I definitely feel the squad is capable.
Do you think that if we kept that,
I think we're capable.
If we kept that first 11, yeah. Say for instance, like last season, say they only played Premier League games, and we didn't play them in any FA Cup games, we didn't play them in any Carabao Cup games, and they only played in the Europa games. Do you think that they could win the league? Because I think they could win the league by just playing every game and taking injuries as they come and just being, you know, because I think if they had the mentality for certain competitions, I think that it would affect the whole bigger picture that they're trying to create. That's just my opinion.
I think there's key personnel that I think are less replaceable in this squad than others.
Yeah, 100%.
The least replaceable and probably the most injury prone of our players, without a shadow of a doubt, is Thomas Partey.
Thomas Partey, yeah.
Yeah,
and he's a key part, isn't he, of what we're doing?
Yeah, like, I mean, when we play without him, I mean, look at the top 4 race last season. When we lost him and Tierney, we lost everything. You know, like the arse end fell out, bro, and I still got PTSD from that. You know, because I personally feel if we kept those 2 fit, we would be the ones watching Tuesday and Wednesday night football. In my opinion, yeah, I think you keep those 2 fit, we maintain, we stay the course. So we've got the lessons there to learn from, bro. You know what I mean? In how we manage our squad, because okay, that wasn't our fault. They went on international duty, they got injured. You know, like it's not like we overused them, but obviously the games they were playing for us put that strain on them when they did go on international duty. Do you see what I mean? And I think we have a responsibility this season to give winning that title every available opportunity. Every single one, man. Like, a league title for Arsenal after 20 years would be massive. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it might be a puncher's chance that we see it at best, but listen, Leicester had 5,000 to 1 odds. We got better odds than that, bro. We got better odds than that.
I put 50 quid on us to win it at 20 to 1 at the beginning of the season.
Every league title I've seen us win, we defied odds, and we competed against stronger animals to win.
Right,
do you see what I mean? Like, you know, and I just think that's what we got to prioritize. You know, like, obviously getting in the top 4 now, but I think challenging for the title or winning it would be
amazing.
A statement. You know, like, that we really are not messing around anymore. Like,
win the league, that'd be mad.
Could you imagine it? Could you imagine the scenes, man? I mean, like, I'm almost imagining it in myself, like, when I'm going to sleep at night, what it would be like, what the streets of North London would be like, because it's been too long for us, man.
Well, I'll be honest. I've said this before on other podcasts that this for me feels like when Wenger came. We had dark times with Bruce Rioch. I don't know how old you guys are, but we had dark times with Bruce Rioch, man. That was
that era,
wasn't it? If you remember, remember the season we finished 16th. We was, I think we were 17th for like 3 months or something. It was like, we could have got relegated that year.
We were awful.
And then when Wenger came and no one knew who he was, so after the fans no one didn't really want him. But then,
won the league in his first season, and the rest of.
I remember when we signed Anelka for 500 grand from PSG for 17 years old, and me and my cousin were like, "Who on earth is this geezer?"
Yeah,
me, it kind of feels it's got that same feel again of when Wenger came. It just, I remember there was what was going on in the Premier League at the time, the Man United machine. So there's something there for Arteta to go and try and be better than, But he was also part of Arsene Wenger, so he knows what Arsenal, being part of Arsenal, is all about, and that's why he's got the connection with the fans back and all the good stuff you see at the stadium. And I think that is going to help his team achieve. Man, it's I'm excited, man. Can you tell? I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. I mean, I want January to come.
Years, and I've turned really optimistic now. So I'm really positive on everything because you, as you probably both know, there's been so much toxicity around our club and around our players, and even Arsene Wenger. That last 4 or 5 years of his tenure was awful, wasn't it? It was a dark time for one of our greatest ever managers. So to be where we are now, it's just it's just great. It's just I'm just loving it. Man.
And I think that for me is the main priority. Like the league finishing as high as possible, perhaps winning it, and the Europa League.
Yeah.
Right, because we need to add that to our history. Definitely. Even Spurs have 2. Like that's the unfortunate thing. Like I don't want them to have anything over us, bro. Like
still pissed when we lost that one against Galatasaray.
Well, that was it. Like Obafemi Martins, wasn't it, with the winner? Yeah.
Well, you went up the Carabao, the Blues one. I'm on about Galatasaray when we lost the Euro.
Oh yeah. My bad. I'm on about Birmingham. Yeah, like when they.
Armoury missed that header last minute, and then they won on penalties. Hardy got sent off. I'm sure. I think Hardy got sent off. I'm sure he did, and they still won on penalties. Sick.
The last European trophy I saw us win was obviously the Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah, Alan Smith.
94, 95.
Alan Smith. Yeah, he used to play for my local club, Alf Church, around the corner.
Yeah. And it's painful.
Yeah, anyway, Bobby, should we get back to the show, mate? We kind of gone off course a bit, didn't we?
Is he Bobby still there? I think Bobby's
froze.
I think he has frozen, but he should be back shortly, I'd imagine. But man. I mean, it's sort of going back to those days, man. Like I think you asked how old I was. I'm 38.
Okay, I'm 45, so a little bit older than you, but same kind of era.
Yeah, that's it. And
right, guys. Sorry, my internet's just played up because we got a storm again. Used to these storms now. Right, we do need to get into the Brighton game, so we're going to go through these comments, getting through the squads, and then we'll get challenge complete. Champions League now on. Yep, I'm pretty sure we'll get Champions League, no problem. Bobby, sorry, mate, it's another one of those every little step I take. Even Tony's saying, behave yourself. Yep. Oh, mate, seriously, he's going through the albums, right? I'll try and skip some of that. 2 months ago, and maybe on penalties. Oh, I don't want penalties.
I don't want penalties. The thing is, Wolves away is not. I know Wolves aren't in good form, but we always struggle there.
Yeah, Lopetegui is actually going to be in the stadium. He's not managing it, but he's got his coaching staff there. We are doing 2 previews for the Wolves. I've got a Wolves fan doing it on Friday as well. So we'll talk about that on Friday. But it's as GunnerKing said, it's not going to be as easy as we would like it to be. Obviously, I live by Wolves. Bobby lives in Birmingham as well, so we kind of know a little bit about Wolves.
I'm going to the game as well.
You're going. As an away fan.
Yeah, I'm going with the Arsenal fans. Yeah,
Yeah. I was just saying because I have known an Arsenal fan that's gone as a home fan. It's not a good idea. I'll just say,
yeah.
just so you know.
I've been as a home fan a few times. That's sometimes the only time I've been able to get a ticket. But
yeah, I go as a home fan, but sometimes I would never.
I've never actually seen them win in the stadium. I've been there 3 times to watch Arsenal. I've never seen them win there. So
there's that viral shot of an Arsenal fan being in Stamford Bridge, in the home end the other day. Yeah, that was brilliant. He just holds up his phone. It's got like an Arsenal club emblem on it, and he just winks. And I was just like, "Oh, that's class, absolute class."
Lee Meadows saying that Bruce Rick wasn't that bad. He really was. He really
was good. See, yeah, everyone forgets that was the season we signed our mercurial Bergkamp. And Bergkamp,
I've got him on my shirt. He's my favourite player. So
he took us from 50th to got us into Europe. That was the first time we've been in Europe for like 3 years, I think, something like
that. Am I going to set? No, I'm not. Unless I've got a relative that's used to work at Arsenal. Unless he gets me tickets, I'm definitely not going. So yeah, I won't be. I'll be doing the watch along though. So let's go into the teams that I asked everyone to give me regarding the Brighton game. So this is squad 1. Ramsdale, this is Tim. This is the guy that actually got the team spot on against Chelsea. Don't know how he does it, but he did it very well. So he went with Ramsdale, Cedric, Holding, Gabriel, Tierney, Elneny, Odegaard, Lokonga, Vieira, Eddie, and Nelson. So GunnerKing's had to drop out. Bobby, what do you think of that team? I'll just take that banner off as well, so it's just easier for you.
Seems a bit mishmashed, to be honest.
Yeah.
Cedric's hardly played. Nelson, I'd have him on the opposite wing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it seems like that's a team of let's give players as many minutes, players who haven't got minutes, kind of thing, rather than let's put out a team to win a game. So it looks like a decent enough team. Obviously it's Arsenal, but it's not a team that I'd go with.
And this is your team that you gave me. So it's Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Vieira, Xhaka, Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. So why did you go for that team, mate?
My thinking with this team was to give, because obviously Zinchenko's had a bit of an injury, so to give him a rest, and obviously it also gives Tierney a bit of confidence as well, because we want him, you want him confident going into games. He did look down at the end of a couple of the games. I always look at players' body language, and you can't be happy when you're not starting, can you? So you want them happy. The rest of the team kind of speaks for itself. Other than what I wanted to do was I wanted to give Odegaard a little bit of a kick up the backside, because I think in some games he kind of coasts. Even though I really like what he does off the ball, and I like the way he uses the ball, the way he moves the ball around the pitch off 1 and 2 touches. But I think when we get into the final third, I think he's got to start being a bit more decisive in his killer instincts, either shooting or passing. And I think putting him on the bench would probably give him a little G up. But then also, what it's also doing is giving Vieira some confidence, because he looks like a good player. And if he does well in this game, it could do him well as well, do him some good confidence well. So, that was the reason why I went with that team. But also, my main reason is that I want to win. I want to win the game. So that's mainly the strongest lineup we could go with.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've only got 2 games before the World Cup, so most of those players are going to be rested, aren't they?
So this is your pal G Talks. G Talks went with this team: Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Odegaard, Xhaka, Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. So obviously he's changed Vieira for Odegaard and Tierney for Sin. So again, G, I know he said that I said he'll be mad for doing this lineup. He is mad, but only because I think differently, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I just think it is time that we do rest and give the chance to the kids. The kids deserve a chance. Unfortunately, they didn't get it through Europa, which has annoyed me. That's my only gripe about the whole Europa so far. We haven't given the kids a chance. They've been playing with their first team. They've been training with them. I don't get why he hasn't done it. Like just one or two now and then, like against FC Zurich or Bodo, not against PSV maybe, but the smaller ones, you know, just one or two players, just integrate them a little bit, or even give them 20 minutes. You know, give them a chance. These kids want to be in the first team. For that to happen, they will come on and give you the best 20 minutes of their lives, probably. It's good, worth a good shot for me. But G's gone for a strong team. This is King for King's Football Show, who comes on the show with me sometimes. He's gone with Turner in goal, Cedric, Saliba, Gabriel, Tierney, El Neni, Vieira, Lokonga, Nelson, Eddie, and Martinelli. So what do you think of that team?
But that's kind of like a mixture, isn't it, of
Yeah.
strong. I like including Cedric because it's giving him some minutes, which he hasn't had, which, you need to give some minutes to the players. You don't want players sitting around doing nothing. And the rest is just kind of like a team that you give him minutes to, but also a development thing, isn't it? Because Nelson and Nketiah and Lokonga and Vieira, all them four, you want them to be pushing first team players. You know, you want them to be knocking on the first team, the first 11 door. So the more minutes you give them, the more chance that they've got to showcase what they can do. And against Brighton, who are a decent team, it's a good opportunity for them to do something, isn't it?
Yeah. Gunner, what do you think of that team, mate?
I like it. The players I would rest would be Martinelli. I want to see that Marquinhos play. So I'd move Nelson over to the left.
Yeah.
Put Marquinhos on the right.
Yeah.
Gabriel and Saliba, I'm not convinced we need to start both.
Yeah.
So I'd probably drop one out for holding. And judging on the importance of Saliba, and I've just been getting in this with two United fans that have been they've just fought a losing battle to claim that Martinez has been a better centre-back this season. I've just gone in on an absolute granular detail. Like, Saliba has been the league's best performing centre-back, and I've got absolutely no qualm saying that. I will wait for any fan of any other club to name me which centre-back has been better than Saliba this season. And as Cat Williams said, don't worry, I'll wait. We will show you a man that doesn't exist. Yeah. So I think he needs to be wrapped in cotton wool. And I think Holding and Gabriel, you could use Holding and White. There is the argument that Tomiyasu is a natural centre-back. Might be good if he's fit to see him, to see what he's capable of doing in the centre-back role next to one of those. I see those as all plausible workarounds, but the rest of the squad, I think I agree with, to be honest.
Okay. Well, this is where it now gets weird because these are pretty much young teams now. They've got two more. So we've got Luke that has gone with Cole Hine in goal, Walters.
Wow.
Yeah. Jeff got now. Luke, what I would say about Jeff got, he is a left back, so we couldn't put him at the centre back. But I've chosen put your team. So Lino Sousa as a left back, El Neni, Vieira, Matty Smith, Marquinhos, Edwards, and Nelson. So guys, what do you think of that one?
I think that's a bit too much in the other direction of young bodies. Listen, Brighton will play one of their stronger teams, because like it's still an available trophy for them. And Brighton will want to win something. They're a good side, and I just think this underestimates their strength a bit too much for my liking. I like the young players that you've put in, Walters especially. I've been keeping tabs on him. Sousa as well, Smith, Edwards, but I would want to see a bit more experience come in to kind of balance that. I think I definitely want to see Turner in goal because I think he's done well as our second goalkeeper, but was injured for our last couple of Europa League performances. So I want him tested against Premier League opposition, and this is a perfect opportunity to do that. So those are the qualms I've got with that team. But I get the idea. Keep the first team squad fresh.
What about you, Bobby?
For this team,
it's
Like, this just says to me that you want to go out the competition. I mean, with kids, for me, I mean, I'm a big advocate of playing kids, but only if they're good enough. I mean, you got to remember we're Arsenal Football Club, and we have ambition to be one of the best teams in the world, and that means that the kids need to be up there as like being some of the best kids in the world. And there's probably a reason why you haven't seen any of them this season. Basically, because Mikel Arteta doesn't think that they're ready, and he brought a 15-year-old up past. He plays for the under-18s, past every other under-21 player, and played him before he played any of the under-21s. So that says a lot to me. That says to me that a 15-year-old kid in Ethan is better than every other kid that's older than him in the academy. So that just says to me that none of the under-21s are ready for the first team. And now we're talking the first team that is at the top of the Premier League. We're at the top of the Premier League, challenging Manchester City. Manchester City have only had one kid come into their team, and that's Phil Foden, the kid that come on and scored the other night. And obviously, you got to remember, Manchester City's academy is different. My son's academy footballer. Well, it was an academy footballer, but and I was part of that whole when Man City were basically just going around to academies, and they were just stripping all the best players from academies and taking them to their team, and they were doing that because they wanted to have the best team in the world. But in the last 7 years, not one of those players that Man City have taken from other teams, and there was a lot, has made it into their first team.
What I would say is one of
their first team with any decent level of football is Phil Foden.
I mean, I would say Foden's level's been exceptional.
Exactly.
Like when you're talking
same level as Saka, isn't he? He's same level as Saka, but what my point is that you don't get many academy footballers, academy kids that come into top 5 teams.
I would definitely say I disagree with Arsenal. Like,
with who?
I think I can go back to the childhood. Like first Arsenal captain was Tony Adams, academy product, given his debut at 17.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got Saka and Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe was our second top goal scorer last season.
Yeah.
Saka is arguably one of our best players. Arsenal have a very, very, very good academy, and like the under 23 team is where it is for a reason. Like, and also when you look at,
would you see where they were last year? Do you see where they were last year? Do you see where they were last year?
Because but a number of the players that are involved in the core of the group now are on loan. Yeah, like so. You're looking at again. Coutinho is out on loan now. You've got players like and Blackpool. He's been doing really well for them. Scored in the derby game against Preston North End.
He wasn't like bred in the Arsenal academy. Really, we picked him from somewhere else.
I hear that, but
from Millwall.
I definitely think there are players of quality in that academy, and
that's going to touch the first team.
Yeah.
So why hasn't he used any this season? Why hasn't he put any on the bench, as Bobby said?
Still young. Like the time will come, but that's what you want to do. You want to kind of incrementally give them the taste for first team action.
If they're good,
I've definitely seen some players that are good enough. That right back Walters is very good, very good.
Why isn't he playing? Why isn't he playing?
He's playing as a right back.
Yeah, why isn't he playing? Oh, that's what I'm saying. Why isn't he been? He's at the age of he's
18.
Yeah. So why didn't he get included in the team rather than?
Because I just think at 18, it's not necessary. Like
good enough. He put in the team. Saka was put in the team at 17, and he's been in there.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing with Arsenal fans. Yeah, no, I'll be honest, right? We can't benchmark the development of one player or one special player. Yeah, we can't say if you can't. No, because let me just break that. Let me break that down, Bobby. What I mean by that, yeah, Saka broke into the team at 17. Van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, yeah, they peaked when they were later. Yeah, when they were older. If we had just kind of drawn the line, in front of the sand, in front of these good players, I said they've not developed at Saka's rate. They can't be very good. we wouldn't see the talents that Salah and Van Dijk are today. Like, there is completely different paths of development for different players. You know, like, I get it. Saka's come through, Martinelli's come through, and it's got us all thinking that's the standard now. That's the standard. But you can't impose that standard on every single youngster. Like, it's not
100% you can.
different youngsters develop at different paces, bro. And we've seen it.
So what do you think we do? We wait 5 years for Nelson to get.
I didn't say 5 years either, you know, like, but we've definitely seen.
We do what Chelsea do and loan Ruben Loftus-Cheek out for 7 years and then get him back in the team. Well, I don't understand your point.
I mean, I think that's the other. I think that's the other end of the spectrum. You know, like that.
Let me finish my point. You've got like the likes of Mount, you've got the likes of Reece James that went out on 2-3 loans and then came straight back into the team and did well. And then you've got thousands of others that didn't, and all they did was sold them, and they did well at other clubs, but they were never the level that Chelsea needed to win Champions Leagues, to win leagues, and that's what we need to do at Arsenal, and that's what Mikel Arteta will do. That's what Man City will do. That's what every top club will do, and I can guarantee you that not many of those teams that win leagues, that win Champions Leagues, will have many kids that were bred in the academy. It's just a fact. It's just
completely disagree. Arsenal, Man United. Let me hear this. Yeah, Arsenal, Man United.
Arsenal,
Man United have the longest history of having an academy product in our match day squads. United's goes back to the 30s. Ours is like the 40s or 50s. We've always had kids from our academy in the spine of our squad, bro. If you look at Chapman's era, if you look at Graham's era, and if you look at Wenger's era, yeah, the 3 great eras of Arsenal have all featured great academy players, and you're seeing it again with Arteta. Really, I mean, really looking at Saka, what's to say he's not spearheading what we're doing right now?
Okay, so tell me who was the greatest academy product in Arsene Wenger's era?
Ashley Cole, arguably the greatest ever Premier League left back.
That went to Chelsea.
Name me a better one.
That went to Chelsea.
Yeah, he went to Chelsea, but it's moot to the point that he was put in our team, and by the time he left to went Chelsea, had already cemented his legacy as the best ever Premier League left back. He was already playing to that caliber. That's why Chelsea wanted him.
Yeah, top level player.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're not going to get many of them, though, are you? Let's face it. That's just. Listen,
Arsenal have had plenty over the years.
Well, you've only just mentioned one. You're saying plenty, but who are the others? All our other best players we bought. Facts.
Well, I would say Wilshere.
Okay,
I would say Bellerin before he got injured.
Bellerin?
I would
Really?
Yeah, no, the recency bias we applied to Bellerin, yeah. Like, honestly, like, the recency bias we applied to Bellerin, I don't think you remember before his injury against Chelsea.
Oh, I know everything about Bellerin, bro. You could never
Barcelona, all the top teams wanted him, bro. He was performing to the level of one of the best right backs in the world before he got injured. Injury ruined him, bro. I get it. We suffered, the last couple of years with him, so we forget this. But Bellerin was a very good player before he got that injury.
No, not for
you've just forgotten, bruv. Like, respectfully, you have.
I used to watch him in the flesh. I've been going for the last 20 years.
That's what I mean, bro. Like, he was definitely a top player, man. He was a top player.
I watched so much better. Paul Parker was better than him. Lauren was better than him. I've never ever rated Bellerin. Never. I've never ever rated him as a great Arsenal player. For me, that's just but that's just opinions, isn't it? Some people rate Harry Kane. I think he's rubbish. It's just opinions, isn't it? But yeah, you think that about academy players. It's just my stance. I've always had it. It's not something that we can agree or disagree on. It's just an opinion, isn't it? For me, all those players like Tony Adams, and we've had some. Yeah, you're right. We've had some fantastic players that have come out of the academy, but none of them have had great Arsenal careers and have done great things for our club.
Tony Adams is literally our most decorated captain. There's not a more decorated captain than Tony Adams.
Hold on a sec. Let me finish. I'd say within Arsene Wenger's era, only really Jack Wilshere came out of the academy, because I don't really think we can claim Fabregas because we got him from Barcelona. But
we did get him from Barcelona, but we put him in our academy. He was developed in our academy. He was brought as a kid. He was brought as an academy product.
Let me finish my point before you interject. Is that those players that have been in the academy all that time, they have to have a certain level to be a worthwhile player for Arsenal. That's just my opinion. And other than that, you're going to have to be of a certain level so that we can sell you and get decent money for you, like Willock, like Iwobi, like all these players who, for me, were never good enough to play for Arsenal, for where we want to get to, but getting good money for them.
Even at that, if you take the getting good money from them stance, how are you going to get good money from them if they're not playing? If you're not showcasing what capabilities they have?
Well, Willock hardly played, didn't he? And he went on loan, and we got 30 million off the back of him scoring goals for Newcastle. So it's that, isn't it? It's coming out of our academy. You're going to have a certain level. Man City are doing that, haven't they? Like Jack Harrison, Kieran Trippier, they all come from Man City's academy. Man City stockpiled them. They weren't good enough. They didn't even touch the grass at Man City, but they still ended up getting good fees for them, and they've gone up decent players.
In order to get that team,
you've already pointed out, different players develop at different times, but I don't think Arsenal are at that period now where we've got time to wait 3, 4, 5 years for a player to develop. And to be honest, if you look at actually what's going on, you can see that the club haven't either, because look at Willock. I actually think that Willock could actually be doing a decent job for Arsenal right now, but the club didn't have no time. They were like, nah, we're not waiting for you. We're going to sell you, and we're going to go with somebody else.
They definitely had time for Saka and Smith Rowe.
Hold on a sec. They probably thought, we've got Patino there.
We're
going to send him on loan, and we'll get
him. Definitely had time for Saka and Smith Rowe.
Yeah,
100%. They had time for Saka and Smith Rowe, man.
Exactly, because Saka and Smith Rowe are a certain level. So Smith Rowe got into the England team off the back of substitute appearances. Saka's, he's you don't even have to talk about it. Saka is, there's levels in football players, and Saka is that same level of Foden, all the good kids of world football now. Saka's up there, and we're blessed to have him, just like Martinelli. We've got one either side. We're really lucky, but academies don't get those players all the time. And I mean, even look at Sancho. He's gone to Germany, had a fantastic loan. He's come back to Man United, and he hasn't proved to be as good as what maybe they thought he was. So would you say that was down to develop? Because he played all the games in Germany, and he's played all the games in the Premier League since he's come back, but he just isn't the same level as Saka, is he? He's not as good in games. He's not as motivated, and it's made them go out now and buy another £100 million winger in Anthony. And now they're talking about going and buying that Rafael Leao guy or that Cody Gakpo. So they're on about even going and buying another guy because Sancho's not that level. So for me, we can keep developing these kids, and I think that's what academies do. They develop them, they keep developing, they put them into games, they put them into situations, and then let's see how they react. And when you look at, if you watch the Howland documentary, that tells you a lot. That because it's fantastic. It's a fantastic insight. In All or Nothing, they talk about Emil Smith Rowe when they sent him on loan to Germany, and it was interesting to hear that Mikel Arteta didn't speak about his ability. He spoke about his character, and he said the reason why we sent him on loan wasn't because of football. We sent him on loan to gain confidence because he was really quiet and he's really shy. So that to me says that the club had already ruled that Smith Rowe, your levels you are. We know that you're a player. We're going to give you the 10. We're going to give you a contract, but you just need to improve your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
plenty of players in our academy in the same boat.
They haven't done that. They haven't given them their time because they've assessed them and thought, you know what, now you ain't good enough.
No. I think it can be a case of timing, man. I think it's a very blanket judgment to say they're not good enough. Like timing can be key, man. And Nanueri was given a chance. You know what I mean? So for him to be given a chance shows that we tout him very highly.
Have you watched the Highland doc? Watch it. We've got him and Miles. They're the only two. They're the only two at the moment in the academy that stand out. Him and Miles.
No, there's more, bro.
And Sosa, Lino, the one. But we got him from West Brom. He's been in Birmingham. His dad's Portuguese. So we got him from West Brom last year. Loads of clubs wanted him because my son's agent told me about him. He's like,
Patino's been killing it at Blackpool as well.
I've been watching all his games. He's fantastic. He's like an Ozil regen, but he actually gets stuck in and works. So that means the club, they've seen him. They said, yeah, we're going to send you on loan to somewhere gritty. Norton Coffey as well, another one, doing brilliantly.
Yeah, Norton Coffey's good.
I actually wanted Coffey in this season. I thought that he'd come in this season and we'd get rid of Cedric. But the fact that they've sent him on loan again, so probably you're not ready a year, we'll give you another year. And did you see him win he won the thing for England in the summer as well? So,
yeah, exactly. Bro.
So for me, it's just about levels. It's not to say that all these kids can't get there eventually. I believe that they all can, and they all can be great. But you know, you only get a Tony Adams every now and again. You only get a Patino.
Of course, but you only discover you have these players by giving players a chance.
Nah. You know what? Coaches will say a player 15 minutes.
Someone, wait, Bobby, let me add some context to what I just said there. Just a second, Bobby. Someone had to say at the age of 17, Tony Adams is ready to go into that team now. 17 might be young for a centre-back as well, might I add, yeah? Because let's be real, centre-backs, they peak when they're a lot older. It takes a lot more to trust a centre-back that is below the age of 19 or 20, yeah? Someone had to give him that chance, and he had to take that chance, yeah? And all I'm saying, yeah, is that is a big part of our history, bro. Ashley Cole was given a chance at 18. He was given a chance, and he took it. He won 9 trophies with us. So we can say what we want about him going Chelsea, yeah? Like, he was a big cornerstone of our success in that period. Yeah, and let me tell you what I feel these. Let me tell you. Wait, sorry, Bobby. One last sentence, if I may. Yeah. Let me tell you what someone from the academy gives you. Yeah. They understand the club, the ethos. Yeah. Like, it means more to them. They got the locality. They've got that connection with the club. You look at players like Gerrard. For me, he's one of the most influential midfielders that I've seen in the Premier League era, and I put a lot of that. I put a lot of that influence down to the. I put a lot of that. Wait. Please let me finish what I'm saying. I put a lot of that influence down to the fact that he does have an affinity with Liverpool as a city. This is the streets he grew up in, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are the streets that raised him, bro. Like, so when he puts on that Liverpool shirt, it's not just putting on the Liverpool shirt, is it? And
who are we talking about?
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard. He's a manager.
Yeah. Huh?
He's a manager. He's never won the Premier League.
No, but I'm talking about when he was a player, bro. Yeah, when he was a player. Yeah, when he was a captain of Liverpool. Yeah, when he was captain in Liverpool, dragging them to do things they had no place doing. Yeah, you can't get that. Yeah, from someone that doesn't have that local affinity with that club. You understand? That grew up on the terraces, watching those games as a kid, growing up, yeah, developing, being like, this is the Liverpool way. You never walk alone. Do you know what I mean? Taking in all the culture and the actual club itself and what it means, yeah, to be a Liverpool man, bro. Yeah. And if you look at our successful eras of Chapman, of Wenger, and of Graham, you will find at least 2 to 3 of these men in every one of those eras. No exception. None whatsoever. And that's no coincidence, in my opinion. None. 0. No. I don't believe so. You know?
Okay. Right. Now can we get back onto the Brighton? Because I've still got one squad to actually get through. Obviously, you both very much differ in opinions. I'm slightly more with GunnerKing due to the fact I also remember that it's our youth has always been important to our history. So this is my squad.
It's not important, but you know.
No, I'm not. I know you're not saying that.
Never once said it's not important.
But what I'm saying is, our under 21s in PL2 are doing very, very well, and they should be given a chance. So this is the mine and Mehmet. We both agreed to this team. So this is Cole Hine, Waters, Foran, who's a very good centre back at the moment. Zakor, who is looking very much like Saliba. Sousa, Henry Francis, Sambi, Smith, Vieira on the right, Edwards, and Charles Sugo on the left. Now, obviously, that's a lot of youth, but I just feel that they could do it. That's why I've put the Sambi in there and I put Vieira in there. Because I think it is a chance to give them a little bit of a chance. I don't think Brighton are going to go as strong as we all think, to be honest.
Do you think that?
I honestly don't think Brighton are going to go that strong tomorrow. I really don't. I
think they got on the weekend.
I haven't got a clue, mate. I haven't got a clue who they got. But I just don't think they're going to go because some clubs just don't for the Carabao, and I don't know why. I personally would want every single cup as a fan, but it is what it is nowadays. In the future, the European qualifiers may not even be in the Carabao Cup in future. So if that happens, then fair enough. So yeah, it's obviously your conversation was interesting. Obviously different opinions, and that's fine. That's what football's all about. If we all agreed, it would be extremely boring in the pub afterwards. We'll all go, that was a great game. Yeah, it was. What we're going to talk about now. It would be a very boring conversation, let's be honest. But Bobby, you're new to this. GunnerKing, you've seen this before. We are going to do the challenge. And before I talk about the challenge, what I will state is we are going to go with the strongest lineups. So the strongest Brighton players and the strongest Arsenal for the challenge. Okay, guys? Okay, so everyone knows what we're doing. We're going to choose the 5 Brighton players that we're going to choose first. So the strongest or the ones that can cause the most danger. But also for the chat box, could you put your predictions in for the game tomorrow? Doesn't matter what teams you think anyone's going to go for. Just go for predictions. That's what I'm more interested about. So we'll start with the debut boy, Bobby, with your first choice for Brighton. That's going to cause us an issue tomorrow.
What's this? What we got to do?
Right, so you've got to choose the 5 most dangerous players in the Brighton lineup.
Okay.
And then what we end up doing at the end of it, we look at the team and we'll discuss how good the actual team actually is with 5 Brighton players within the Arsenal squad. It is interesting sometimes. Sometimes we've actually still got a very good squad. Sometimes we've got a poor squad, like last week against FC Zurich. Just saying.
You choose 5 Arsenal, 5.
No, 6 Arsenal, 5 Brighton. So what is the first Brighton? Yeah, first Brighton playing for you. Who are you going for, mate?
Trossard, right, left winger, isn't he?
Yeah, Trossard.
Or he plays striker.
Well, where would you like to put him? Because it's up to you where you want to put him.
Yeah, put him on the left up front.
No problem. GunnerKing?
Salcedo, central midfielder.
Do you want to put him as CDM or actual centre midfielder?
He can play as either. I'd say he's more effective as an 8. But
yeah, we'll put him there then. That's not a problem. Right, Bobby, your next player for Brighton.
He hasn't really been playing that much, has he? That I was going to say Tariq Lamptey, but instead I suppose I go for the Argentinian kid. Is it Martinez? Was it what's his name? The Argentinian, the one with the blonde hair. He plays.
Is that McAllister?
Huh?
No.
Is that McAllister?
I'm sure it begins with an M.
Scottish, I think. But he's good as well.
That's the one. Yeah, McAllister.
Yeah. So where do you want to put him?
I'll put him on the right.
Yep. Oh, it'd be interesting to find his name there, isn't it? How do we spell his name? How do you spell his name?
Hold on, I'll Google him.
I don't know how to spell his name. Because he's got an English name, but it's
McAllister.
All right. Well, GunnerKing, if you come up with the 4th one, I'll try and work out what the hell you're going to spell his name.
Yeah, it's McAllister. It's Mac Alister.
It's Mac. Okay.
So it's MAC.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. Okay. So,
MACALLISTER. But the Mac and the Alister are separate.
Okay, let's have a look. Ah, there we go. There you go. That was a problem then. How
you got there in the end.
Yeah, right. GunnerKing. Who's your second choice?
I am going to go with Lamptey, you know.
Yep, that's fine. Doesn't really matter if they haven't been playing too much, so it don't matter. Okay, so Bobby Brown, your final choice, and that'll be the final play for Brighton.
Final one, I'll go with balance it out and put a defender in. Go with Lewis. Go with Lewis Dunk.
Yep, centre back. Okay. Okay, so we're now going to choose the Arsenal. So I'm all guessing we're all going to go with Ramsdale in goal.
He was actually a player I wanted us to sign as well. Just imagine how far we've come.
Who's that? Lewis Dunk?
Yeah, I thought about a couple of years ago, I thought he'd be perfect for us. We needed a leader, and I thought he's better than Holding and what we had at the time. You know, it's when we signed Louise. I thought he'd have been, but he was like 26.
Don't say it too loud. Tony's listening.
Huh?
Don't say too loud. Tony's listening. Lewis Dunk's better than Rob Holding. Oh dear, you'll upset him. Right, other centre back, Saliba. I'm guessing, yeah.
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 I'll go
Right.
Gabriel Alves on the left.
Yeah, well, that doesn't really matter. That don't matter. It's just the best. Our best centre back surely is Saliba, though. Yeah. You agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't see your faces because I'm on another screen. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. No way.
Left back, Zinchenko or Tierney?
Zinchenko, I would say at the moment.
What about you, Bobby?
Either Zinchenko, Tierney. Yeah,
Okay.
either.
We're gonna go for the consensus there, but that's fine. CDM, I'm gonna guess we're gonna go with Party.
Yeah, Party Chaka, innit?
Yeah,
Party Chaka, Jesus.
Okay, so we're going Xhaka there, yeah.
A few people wouldn't have said that last season or the season before.
Mate,
Yeah.
every time I've done this season, it's been Xhaka. Every time, and I love that. I wasn't a great fan of Xhaka for years.
Would you not know?
I like the fact that we signed him because I saw him at Mönchengladbach, but he wasn't the player that I thought we signed until this season. I'm like, that's the player I saw in Germany a few years ago.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
But
shows you how bad he was, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I wanted Kante when we signed him, but
yeah,
I was a bit pissed off that we didn't get Kante. But now, in hindsight, how injury prone Kante has been over the last few years.
Right. So this is the team. So we've got Ramsdale in goal, Lamptey, Dunk, Saliba, Zinchenko, Party, Casido, however you say his name, Xhaka, Trossard, McAllister, and Jesus. Now, for me, I'd say there's two weaknesses there, but other than that, it's a pretty good lineup. What about you guys?
As much as I love Trossard and McAllister, Saka and Martinelli have been considerably better. But other than that,
it's not a bad lineup, is it?
Not a bad lineup. I mean, Ben White's been so good at right back this season.
Yeah.
Salcedo is someone I like, though.
Yeah, I'd have him now.
Yeah, I would as well. Yeah. Definitely.
So what do you... has anyone put any scores in? Oh, they have. Lee's put 2-1. Right, so we're going to go into predictions. So if you guys can think of yours, I'm going to see if we're going to find any predictions. So Lee's gone for Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. I don't think there's any other... No, there's not. There's no other scores. So what do you think, Bobby Brown, what do you think will happen tomorrow? Score-wise.
If we go strong, I think we're going to win 3-0. If he starts resting players and plays Holding and then Ketia, I think we'll scrape a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something.
Okay. What about you, GunnerKing?
I think he's gone.
Oh, has he gone? Oh no. I'm going to guess. Well, I'm going to put Lee's down. There's 2-1. And there's no more, I don't think. Oh, Tony's gone for 1-1. Tony, that's so not helpful due to the fact it's a knockout competition, so someone has to win. This can't be a draw. G Talks has gone 2-1. I think G got the prediction right on the weekend, I think. Going with the Chelsea game. Hang on. So Moss is saying that Demarai Gray, Everton. Is there Carabao now? Is there? I didn't know, to be honest. Ash is going for 2-0. Big up to Ash. Hope you're doing well, mate. So that's 2-0. So we're going for... It's going to be a squeaky bum night, aren't we? Let's be honest. Unless we go strong. Would you be that upset if we got knocked out, though?
Yeah, pissed, yeah.
You would? Seriously?
Yeah. I'll go to every home game, so I don't want to be driving all the way down to London. The drive home shit when you lose. So yeah, I want to win, but I want to win every game anyway. For Arsenal, I don't want to lose any game. Like I don't understand fans that do want to lose. I just find it weird. I want to win every game like that we play. And if we lose, I'll be disappointed. I won't be happy because that means our players get rest. I can't see that. But I come from an era where that wasn't really an issue. It wasn't something like, you know. So yeah, I just want us to play every game and win every game, play well in every game, and try and win every game. And I hope that Mikel Arteta feels the same way. To be honest, it seems like he does. It does seem like he does in the way that he is, the way that he was on All or Nothing, and that. After the loss to Nottingham Forest, he went mental in the changing room. Like, so I can't see him being anything other than being relentless in wanting the win against Brighton tomorrow. And I hope that we beat them well and a really good performance as well, because we've only got 2 left before we go into the World Cup.
What I will say is, obviously, we've got 2 friendlies set up in that period as well. That hasn't been officially announced, but we all know about it.
Yeah, he's been
against
announced.
Lyon and AC Milan in Dubai. So we have got some friendlies set up because there's not a lot of our players going, thankfully. So they're going to stay back and have a bit of nice warm weather training, which is lovely. So right for some minutes. Nice. Tony's said it's going to be 5-4 to Brighton. I'm very glad I'm not doing a watch along because you've probably seen me swear for the first time on stream. So Luke's gone for 2-1. Moss has gone for 2-1. And also, obviously, had the message through our WhatsApp group that big up to GunnerKing. I hope you're feeling better, mate. I know you're not feeling great right now, which is why he's dropped out. So I hope you're feeling better soon, mate. Moss has put it in nice graphic details within the chat, but I don't want to just echo exactly what he's doing, but big up to him. By the way, the 4th round of the League Cup starts 2 days after the World Cup. That is my point. That is what concerns me.
So there you go, sorry.
The 4th round of the League Cup starts 2 days after the World Cup.
How do you mean?
As in, when they get back from the World Cup, I think it will be the 4th round will be sometime in December.
Yeah.
So it could be good for us because we haven't got so many players going away, but it's not that I want to chuck it because I don't, but I do think the kids can handle it. I think the kids can. Oh, Luke's being exact here. 2 days after the World Cup final. So as soon as the World Cup final, 2 days later, it's literally the World Cup.
Depends on how many of our players we expect to be in the World Cup final. How many of our players are actually going to the World Cup? I'd expect that probably most of them would be back home before the final anyway.
Bobby's being optimistic about the England team there. You're being so optimistic about the England team there.
I've been an England fan for my whole life, mate. You know what I mean? So
yes, so am
I. We know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get through to the knockouts, and that's it. See you later. It was nice being there.
I mean, to be fair, we've been okay in the last couple of tournaments, haven't we? So it has been a little bit more positive, but I'm not getting carried away that we're going to do well. And I'll be honest. I think that because of the way that our club is moving at the moment, I genuinely think our players are going to want to. They will want to get back to Arsenal. They want to get back to being top of the league. They will want to, because we've got Spurs. I think the first week of January, something like that. Yeah. So they're going to want the big games, man. They're going to want. Yeah. Did you see them all celebrating at the end on the pitch against Chelsea? This group of players is different, man. Mikel Arteta's got us going, and the fans are fully. We're all behind them. It's a movement, man. So I don't think that the World Cup. When you look back at the season and you look at all the rhetorics and all the agendas that the media throw onto us, it's been, we'll judge them after this, we'll judge them after that, we'll judge them after this. It keeps on being excuse after excuse after excuse. Now it's, the World Cup's going to derail them. It's going to be too big a break. I think it's going to energise us. I think it's going to be the little winter break that we need to go again. Do you know what I mean? So, man, hopefully let's go.
Lee's got a good point. West Ham is on Boxing Day. As everyone knows, half my family are West Ham, half my family are Arsenal. So that is a day I'm not going to enjoy. I always say I just want a 1-0 win to the Arsenal, and I'll just get on with it. That's the rest of my day.
West Ham as well.
I know it's because my granddad used to live outside Upton Park. He used to live in flats, literally outside Upton Park. So West Ham is so massive to us, but also Arsenal, because my other nan and granddad lived in Boreham Wood, and we used to go and watch the Arsenal ladies and the youngsters there. So the family's torn that day. So I just want a 1-0 win, nice and deal with.
We're going off in your house that day.
It is a nightmare. But Luke's asking a quick question here before we do wrap up. Do you think Jesus might relax more in front of goal now he's going to the World Cup? That's a good point, actually, because he was pulled out the last squad. Now he's in it. So do you think that might have been playing on his mind a bit?
How do you mean relax in front of goal? Like what?
I do get where Luke's going from. He just feels. I think he had that very good chance against Zurich, where everyone said he missed it, where he didn't because the goalkeeper was there. But I love the way he plays, and I've not seen him play like that at City. I think we've got something extra from him. But when it comes to goal scoring, I just feel that there's something not quite right there. I hope I'm wrong, and I just hope he just bangs in like 20 or like within 10 games or something mad. Some crazy period he goes through. But we signed him as a striker. We haven't got many strikes for him yet. I would love to score more. I love 1-0s. You know, it's part of our history. 1-0 to the Arsenal. I remember coming out Highbury and everyone singing 1-0 to the Arsenal, and it's part of my history. But I would love to finish games off. I really would. I get so stressed watching the games nowadays because
I'm kind of the same.
You know, you have this great first half, and then the second half they come in and you go, oh no, it's going to be one of those games again. The Chelsea one, I wasn't actually worried about it because Chelsea just looked absolutely awful. But there have been games that I'm going, oh come on, just finish it off. Like the Zurich. Look at, you know, we were lucky there. That we didn't lose.
Southampton as well. Where you should have scored Chanu when he went through 1-on-1.
But
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this point because, I mean, I see it from both sides. Yes, I do definitely think that Jesus needs to score more goals, but also we've also got to look at the fact that modern football now, and when you look at Jesus' positioning, he's never in the box. He's always all over the place.
Yeah,
he literally is. And then when you see what the others are doing, when you see the fact that there's only one outfield player at the starting 11 that hasn't scored, and that's Ben White. Every other player has scored a goal. That's mad, really, when you think about it. Everyone's scoring, which wasn't the case before. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that he isn't scoring, for me, is not really an issue because everybody else is, and we sat top of the league. If we wasn't sat top of the league, his scoring would be an issue, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? But also, exactly. The other point is that in this modern football now, apart from Harry Kane, strikers aren't really the top scorers in clubs anymore. It's them wide forwards, it's your Salahs, it's your Hazards, it's your, it's them kind of players, isn't it? The striker kind of drops into the hole, and the two wide forwards, they attack the space. Mane, Salah, Bernardo, Mahrez. Obviously Man City are a bit different now because they've got Haaland and everything goes.
Yeah, the robot.
But if you think about it, before they won the league last year without a striker. It was all wide forward scoring, wasn't it? And Foden was playing up front, or Jesus. Or he put Bernardo there, or sometimes he put Kevin De Bruyne there. You know, so the fact that he doesn't score, for me, it's not as worrying yet. But because as well, when you see what else he does as well, he does so much in a game.
Yeah, he does.
The winning headers, the bringing the ball down back to the little tiki-taka. Sometimes he's back deeper than Xhaka and stuff, winning balls and stuff. So, yeah, man, hopefully him going to the World Cup as a 9, he score a few goals and get some confidence, and he'll come back and score even more goals for us.
Yeah, but Tony's saying here, Bobby, you can't love 1-0s only after the final whistle. I want to be 3-0 up. Mate, I would love that. Every time I was at Highbury, my dad used to put crazy bets on, like we'd be 3-0 up within 20 minutes. But when you come out and you've won 1-0, you're happy as Larry. So as long as we get a win, good performance, and I'm happy as Larry.
Yeah, it's true.
When it all goes a little bit peak time, and then I don't like it.
Guys, when it gets a bit stressful towards the end.
Guys, I do want to thank GunnerKing, even though he's had to drop out because he's not very well. Bobby, where can they find you, mate?
Just find me there. There's my app, Bobby Brownio, on Twitter. I'm always chatting Arsenal and having a bit of banter with other fans and stuff. So yeah, man, just shout me out on there, whatever.
Brilliant stuff. It's been brilliant to have you on, mate, and it's
Thanks,
brilliant
man.
debut. It's been a very entertaining chat with Gunner, because I know how much GunnerKing loves to talk as well. So we've got two great people that just love to talk.
Yeah. Went off on a bit of a tangent, but it was good.
As someone said, I was there with my popcorn, just sitting there going, "Yep." At the end of the day, you two have met for the first time. It's just what this is about. It's letting guys talk,
man, it's great.
Their opinions.
Great,
and we're not going to fall out. We all support the Arsenal, and we all want the best for us. So,
of course.
Big up to G as well, mate. But we are definitely out of here. I will be back Friday. There will be I think there's going to be a reaction tomorrow. I don't know who's doing it, but I will be back Friday with 2 previews, probably. One at 3:00 that's definitely set up, which is with a Wolves fan, which I've managed to grab hold of. So that'll be an interesting one. But then we'll have our own fans doing our own preview as well. So we'll have 2 previews at the end of the week, and I'll be back then. And I'll probably be doing the watch along on Saturday as well. But big up to everyone that's in the chat. Big up to everyone that's watched. Big up to Bobby Brown, which I'm struggling to say the name without thinking any songs, because I used to have his album, so it's a little bit weird.
I was a massive fan as well, mate. Don't you worry about that. No, I'm an 80s, I'm a 70s baby, so you know that was my era, bro.
Guys, we're definitely out. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Take care, Gooners, man.